Welcome to Truth Beyond the Stereotypes, where truth isn't filtered to fit, it flows. The podcast where we unlearn expectations, break out outdated narratives, and step fully into who we are meant to be. I am Mia Rose, and this space is all about self trust, growth, accountability, and choosing alignment over approval. If you ever felt boxed in, misunderstood, or ready to outgrow beyond who the world tried to make you, this is a safe space, and this is for you. Perfection isn't an option here. I am speaking my truth from my personal experiences, how it was seen through my eyes and processed through my mind. I create from a place of love, alignment, and growth. Not having all of the answers, I have learned that my voice is activating and my energy gives others permission to rise beyond who they were told to be. I encourage them to question everything, to trust themselves, to stop asking for permission, and to start living in alignment with who they really are. Welcome to Truth Beyond Stereotypes, the podcast where we challenge assumptions, unpack difficult conversations, and explore the experiences that shape who we are. So, how do y'all like that? That is something new that I just added. I am still trying to figure out the signature and the overall format that I want to have for my episodes. So please give me your feedback because I have that intro where the music is playing and I'm speaking. And then some of the episodes I have like a closing song at the end. I need your help. Give me some feedback. I'm a Virgo moon, which means I'm very logical and I can be very indecisive when it comes to making certain decisions. And when it comes to this podcast, I don't know what I want to do. So I'm trying out different things and I need you guys to help me out. So today's conversation comes from my own experiences growing up, as well as what I witnessed throughout my career as a teacher and coach. Let's be honest. All of my episodes are from my experience of growing up. And teaching and coaching and everything else. But before I begin, I want to make something clear. This episode is not about saying one race is better than another. It's not about blaming an entire community, and it's not about rejecting culture. This is about understanding identity and the human need to feel accepted. Because every person wants to feel seen. Every person wants to feel valued. And every person wants to feel like they belong. And with that being said, on social media, the Nolan Wells case has been getting a lot of attention. And I keep seeing different content creators speak about don't allow your child to be the only Black friend. And I don't disagree. And I don't agree with that statement. And because of the different life experiences I have had, this is why I don't disagree, and this is why I do agree with that statement. So you guys are already aware from people who listen to episodes previously than to the episodes before this one. Growing up, I was different. Not because I wasn't proud of who I was and not because I rejected my culture, but because my personality was different. How I expressed myself was different. I did not fit the typical expectations of what the Black community thought a Black girl, a little Black girl, should be. I was bullied. I was definitely bullied when I was younger. Like, for an example, I remember, I'm trying to think, was I in third grade or was I in second grade? I do know I was attending, I think it was Hybla Valley Elementary School, and it was picture day. And my dad purchased me some pink cowgirl boots. And then he purchased me a blue jean skirt with the tassels, and he purchased me a blue jean vest with the matching tassels. And when I tell you guys, I was so excited to wear this outfit to school, not only because it was picture day, but because my father purchased it for me. And when I got to school, the way them Black kids bullied the shit out of me. When I tell you, they ate my little ass up. Coming to school with that outfit on. My little feelings were hurt. I remember going into the bathroom and crying because I felt so good in that outfit. I was so proud of that outfit because my dad brought it for me. And that was one of many experiences I had when it came to the Black community bullying me because I chose to express myself differently. And not only did I have to deal with bullying within the Black community, I had to deal with bullying from my own family, which was even more hurtful because they knew my personal life. So they knew the different challenges that I was dealing with as a little girl. And they still bully me. And those are the experiences that shaped how I viewed friendships. And as a child, I did not have the words to explain what was happening. I just knew that rejection hurt. I will always ask myself questions. I remember as a little girl, like, why would they say that about me? Why don't they accept me? What's wrong with me? Like, I would try to do things the way that they will want me to do it. And then when I would change up, they would still bully me. And the crazy thing about it is, some of the individuals that bullied me didn't have shit on me. Didn't have shit on me. And that was the crazy thing about it. And after having so many experiences like that as a child, I had to deal with it at school. And then once I left school, I had to deal with the bullying again. Eventually, you start to make changes and adjustments. And I started to see how my personality would thrive when I would go around certain people and how I would feel when I would go around certain people. And the interesting part about my story is that the people who accepted me came from different backgrounds. They allowed me to be myself if my hair wasn't perfect. If I wore something different, it was okay. They didn't make me feel like I needed to change in order to play with them. They accepted me for who I was. I remember, what grade was I in? I'm trying to think back because I have like, when it comes to my memory of these different experiences, my imagination is on point. So I don't remember what age. And I remember sitting in class, and you know how when your teacher calls your name and you can't go outside for recess, and you can't go outside for recess. So like each center or each area can only allow a certain amount of friends in that area. And I remember my name being called. So I went over to the group, of course, with all of my so-called community. And when I put my little name tag on the little Velcro, they took my Velcro off. They took my little name tag off and threw it on the floor. And I picked it up and I was like, why y'all do that? And I put it back. And they was like, no, we waiting for such and such to come over here. So then I picked up my name tag and I was like, all right. So I walked and I saw a little white boy sitting over there in a little block area. And I put my name there. He looked up at me. He handed me a block. And he said, this is what I'm building. And I sat down and we started to share ideas. And then when our ideas came together, what we created was so fucking dope that the teacher was like, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. Look what y'all created. Let me take a picture. Da, 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 da. And I remember looking over at the first group that I tried to join, and they all looking at me with a stank face. But I tried to come over there and hang with y'all and play with y'all, but y'all rejected me. So I started to go towards people who accepted me and allowed me to be who I was. Not because I rejected my identity, not because I rejected my culture, but because I felt accepted. I think one of the biggest misunderstandings in this conversation is confusing race and culture. Race is one part of identity. Culture is another. People can share the same race and still have completely different experiences, different environments, different likes and dislikes, different personalities, and different values. Sometimes people are judged because they don't fit the image of what their identity is supposed to look like. And as a teacher, I've seen this in so many of my students. I have witnessed students wanting acceptance so badly that they stay connected to people who did not treat them well. I've seen my students tolerate disrespect, bullying, just because they wanted to be accepted. I literally had a student who was the sweetest, let me tell y'all, heart of gold. Heart of gold. And none of the Black girls would hang with her. So I went to what was considered the it Black girls at the school that I was working at that time. And just in like casual conversation, I asked them, "Oh, do you guys know such and such?" And it was like, "Oh yeah, we know such and such. She's weird. She's different." And I was like, "Oh, what makes her weird? What makes her different?" They started talking about how she dressed. They started talking about how she wore her hair. They started talking about the different things I guess she had. So, when it comes to school supplies and the little notebooks and the little stickers and all that stuff that you can decorate your notebooks and all that stuff with, they started talking about how she decided to decorate her notebooks. And I asked them, I said, "So y'all really out here calling people weird and different because she does not like the same things that y'all like? So that automatically makes her not a good friend?" And they was like, "Yeah." So then, me, I'm always going I'm always going to point out truth. So I called them out. I said, "So, this particular student is a better friend because you guys have things in common all the way down to the same boy that you like, but you was just in here complaining about how every time you like somebody, she turns around and like them too, and how that's messed up as a friend. But you wouldn't have this problem with old girl because old girl don't even like the same things that y'all like. So most likely she could probably still be a good friend because she probably don't even like the same boys that you like." And when I broke it to them like that, y'all should have seen their facial expressions. I'm telling you, as an educator, we see the emotional impact when students feel like they have to become someone else to be accepted. I literally have students completely change everything about themselves to be accepted by the Black community, and the Black community still rejects them. And hearing that hurt and pain in their voice, I'm telling you, it's different. But let me point something out, because I said enough about what the Black community don't do. But let me speak about what the Black community do and the power that they have. So you guys know I coach track and field. And coaching has taught me all about belonging. Sports create a space where young people should feel confident, supported, and valued. I've seen athletes change themselves just to fit in, changing how they speak, changing their personality, laughing along with jokes that hurt, pretending when they don't care when they do. So, with that being said, let's go back. So, when it comes to track and field, when it comes to sprinters, those are the shorter distance. The Black community tends to dominate in that category. And with that being said, I had a particular athlete who was not Black who wanted to be a sprinter. And when I tell you, he was the most, how can I say this? I can say typical white boy. Typical white boy. But let me tell you what my Black athletes did. They poured into him. They accepted him for who he was. They took him under their wing and taught him absolutely everything they knew. They created a safe space for him. I guaranteed you, no lie, within a season and a half, not only was he competing, about 1 or 2 seconds away from the fastest Black athletes on that team. So I know what the Black community can do when they decide to support, respect, and accept people for who they are. But it seems like they tend to accept, pour, and support the ones that don't look like them more than the ones that look like them. Why is it so easy for y'all to support them before you support your own? That's what I'm confused about. And this brings me back to the question. Why do some Black children become the only Black friend in certain spaces? Sometimes the answer is more complicated than what people realize. Sometimes children gravitate toward spaces where they feel more emotionally safe. Sometimes they choose friendship based on who accepts them and not only based who looks like them. But also because their parents was bullied by the Black community and they don't want their children to have those same experiences. So they put their children in environments that accepted them and allowed them to thrive and to become the best versions of themselves. And that's why we have so many examples of a lot of these Black kids out here being the only Black friend. And I'm grateful for my experiences because I have had both. I've been bullied and picked on and disrespected by the Black community. And I've been disrespected, bullied, and picked on by the white community. Both came with lessons that made me who I am today. Because early on, when I became a parent, you guys all know I became a parent at 17 years old. My mindset was very similar to these parents that allow their children to be the only Black friend. I definitely moved to the suburbs and allowed my kids to be the only Black kids in their classroom. And don't get me wrong, they had some positive experiences and they also had some negative experiences. But I'm not going to lie, I was more willing to deal with the negative experiences in the suburbs because I already knew what to expect from them. And by me already knowing what to expect from them, I was able to prepare me and my children. But when it came to the hurt and the betrayal of the Black community, I wasn't prepared for it. Because I did not expect my own people to treat me like this. Especially not my family. So being the only Black family in my neighborhood now, when I first moved here almost 8 years ago, what? These people looked at me like I was crazy. No one would talk to me. But I didn't care because I literally teach and live in the most racist county in Virginia. So it didn't bother me because I already expected them to react and to respond the way that they do. But you know what changed their view on me? Their opinions and thoughts when it came to me? Their children. Because I started teaching and coaching at the neighborhood school. And the kids started seeing me in the neighborhood playing outside with my kids. And I remember that day when they was like, "Oh my God, that's Miss Diggs. Miss Diggs, we didn't know you lived over here." And I was like, "Yeah, this is where I live." And that's how I started my first business during COVID. The same people that wouldn't speak to me, wouldn't say anything to me, were the same people that started to invest and support my business. Because you guys know during COVID, we had to do online teaching. So I changed my first floor of my home into a classroom. And a lot of the parents in our neighborhood, they still had to leave and go to work. Who y'all think they sent them kids to? Who y'all think they sent them kids to? And was willing to pay the money for their kids to be with me and learning. Me. So we have to be, when it comes to the Black community, we have to be more open-minded when it comes to supporting our own people and appreciating the differences that make us who we are. And as parents should ask more than who are your children's friends. The deeper question should actually be, does my child feel respected? Can my child be themselves? Are these friendships allowing my child to grow? Because your child can be surrounded by people who look exactly like them and they can still feel alone. And your child can be surrounded by people who look different and can feel completely accepted. Honestly, this topic is one of those topics where you have to be involved. You have to have open communication with your kids. Because moving your kids to the suburbs, thinking they're going to get a better education, that's negative. That's not correct. Or thinking that, like what I just said, that your kid is going to be more safe, going to return home to you because all of their friends are Black. Negative. This is one of those situations where, what is it? Damn if you do and damn if you don't. This is one of those situations where you guys have to teach your children discernment. You have to teach your children to trust their intuition. You have to teach your children the qualities of a friend, despite if they're white, Black, purple, green, silver, blue. Because white or Black, it doesn't matter. Your child can leave out the house with anybody and not return home. And that's why it's important for us to be upfront and honest with our children. My children already know. Don't leave this house unprepared. I need to know who you with, where you at. You better be sharing that location. And then when I do my little random check-ins, you better respond, because if you don't respond, I'm pulling up. Pull up game strong, because I don't play about my children. And please understand, I don't care what color you are. If my kid leaves here and doesn't return, but all of y'all children made it home safe, okay. Let me tell you, this is why I tell my children I need them to pay attention. This is why I tell my children I need you to have a connection with higher source. I need you guys to be good people. Because I'm prepared at any day to black out about mine. Any day, ready. And as I grew older, I realized something. The younger version of me was not looking for attention. She was looking for acceptance. I just wanted to feel safe and to be myself, especially after everything that I was dealing with in my own life. And since I've started my spiritual journey in 2016, I realized that no one can give me anything, and that I need to give it. I need to give it to myself. I stopped seeking validation outside of myself. I wanted to be loved. So what did you think I did? I started loving myself. I started accepting every part of me. And in order for me to accept every part of me, I had to learn every part of me, even the parts of me that I didn't like. Everybody has a light and a dark side of them. It's never meant for you to erase the dark side of yourself. You just got to have control of it. You just got to know when to use it. Because don't get me wrong, I'm love and light. But that dark side of me, I definitely have it. Didn't y'all just hear what I said about my kids? Ready at any moment. And I stopped trying to chase things that it was never meant for me to catch. And then I also realized that a lot of people seek validation outside of themselves from individuals who are miserable. Why y'all worrying about what other people say and think about y'all when they're not even happy within themselves, when they're wearing a mask themselves? You know what I choose? Alignment. I choose what chooses me. This conversation is not about choosing one group over another. It's about understanding that every human being deserves relationships where they feel safe, supported, and valued. Our experiences shape where we feel accepted. Our experiences shape who we connect with. Our experiences shape the communities we create. I want to hear from you guys. Have you ever felt like you didn't fit in or you didn't fit the expectations people placed on you? Have you ever found acceptance in unexpected places? Because let me tell you, that's my story. If y'all haven't learned, why do y'all think it is called Truth Beyond the Stereotypes? You cannot put me in a box. You can't put me in a circle. You can't put no shape around me because I am not meant to be any shape. But if you don't want, let me reword that. If we don't want our children to be the only Black kid in those friendship groups, we have to learn to accept and pour into our own community the way we accept the ones that don't belong. And I had to catch myself. Woo, I had to catch myself. Because you know why? Because I was about to say the way we be protecting those child molesters. Yeah. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But I'm just saying,